Hi guys, as you might well know, I want to film every common, uncommon and rare species that can be seen in the Netherlands. And I'm still missing a few. And of those there are some species that are typical for the summer, like spotted crake, aquatic warbler, which is the rarer version of the sedge warbler, and species like adult yellow-legged gull. And in the month of August I want to try and film as many of those species. The first target is the spotted crake, which has been sighted at the Eesemerkeeg.
The Eesemerkeeg is one of the best places in summer to watch birds in the Netherlands. There are always many species of wader, such as the ruff, black-tailed godwit and common snipe.
I've seen a reel, but it wasn't the spotted crake. It was a water reel. Cool. Didn't expect that one to also be here. Very cool. Now, let's hope the spotted crake will also show itself.
Here we see the water rail, the only rail species in Europe with such a long bill. In the Netherlands it is a very common species, but one that can stay well hidden, so I never miss a chance to film one.
Well, I was just filming a common snipe, which was also foraging on the edge of the reeds. And then the spotted crake came running out of the reeds to chase the common snipe away. Got it!
The spotted crake is considerably rarer than the water rail and even harder to observe. In spring you can hear them singing in suitable areas, but outside of that they are very quiet. The white-spotted head, neck and chest actually rule out all other rails. The species most resembles the sora, which comes from America and has been recorded in Europe, but the sora has a completely yellow bill and a black spot between the bill and the eye. I used my car as a tripod. This saved time compared to setting up my regular tripod. At one point, the spotted crake even climbed into a small willow tree. I had never seen that before.
Calling this a success is an understatement. For a bird that is so hard to film, the shots I got, whoa, on to the next bird. I'm currently in the field for the second species, the aquatic warbler, which is a very rare species in the Netherlands, but in early August you have the best chance of seeing them here. I'm currently in Polder Arkenheim, which lies in Gelderland, next to the Flevo Lake, and this is one of the best spots in the Netherlands to see them. A couple of them have already been reported over these last 2 weeks, and I'm hoping to see it this evening, because in the middle of the day you don't have a good chance of seeing them. They mostly show themselves in the early morning or late in the evening. It's now 7 p.m, so I think I have to wait an hour, maybe 2. But let's hope one is here and we can film it.
At the Arkenheim polder you have a good view of the relatively small reed beds from the dike, which greatly increases the chances of an observation. Plenty of reed warblers can still be found at this time of year.
At Arkenheim there are 2 spots where aquatic warblers have been seen over the week. I went first to the spot that was a report from this morning. Didn't see anything there. Didn't see any sedge warblers either, only Eurasian reed warblers. So I went to the other spot. This is the spot I tried last year also a couple of times. Last year they were mostly seen here, but here haven't seen it either. I'm gonna wait here for 10-15 minutes and then head back to the spot it was reported this morning. Hopefully it's still there and I can film it.
I saw an eyebrow stripe peeking through the reeds. Unfortunately, it turned out to be a sedge warbler. Identifiable by its dark laurel stripe and lack of a central crown stripe.
Sadly, it's now getting too dark to get any decent shots anyway, but I haven't seen anything that closely resembles an aquatic warbler, although some sedge warblers started to show. Sadly, another dip of this beautiful species. But maybe next week I will try it again. Maybe we have more luck then. Today I'm at Arkenheim again to search for the aquatic warbler. Yesterday 4 were found at this spot, but I'm already an hour in, haven't seen any. What a frustrating species this is. Well, to make a long story short, dipped it again. I'm gonna think about trying it tomorrow morning again, but at the moment I'm not feeling like it, but we'll see. New day, new opportunities. I have to work in the office at Arnhem today, so I took a detour to Arkenheim to search for the aquatic warbler again.
This time I got a pretty interesting species in front of the lens, a savage warbler, a species that almost always stays well hidden in a large reed bed. The bird can be distinguished from the reed warbler by its grey color, smaller head and rounded tail. I also saw many more sedge warblers, including this beautiful juvenile. And of course, more reed warblers. But no aquatic warblers sadly. However, while I was searching, 2 other aquatic warblers were found in other parts of the country.
So, work is all done. It is now 7 PM and I'm in the field again, this time in the province of Utrecht, because this morning, while I was searching at Arkenheim for the aquatic warblers, one was found here. So, I have to give that one a try.
I chose the most open area, thinking I would have the best chance of finding the bird there. This area, with some small patches of reeds, lies in the middle of the polder, and I was hopeful that I might find the bird. While playing the call and song of the aquatic warbler, a few birds quickly came to investigate. Unfortunately, they were all common reed birds. Some looked quite promising at first glance, with a light crown stripe and not too dark laurel stripe, but it wasn't enough to be a real aquatic warbler. At one point, hot air balloons passed overhead, scaring all the birds in the polder, including this purple heron. By now, the light was starting to fade, but I still hadn't found the aquatic warbler, only more sedge warblers, so I went home empty-handed once again.
Today my plan was to go to Texel for the great snipe, which was found yesterday evening. It was reported at 7 AM this morning, but later that observation was withdrawn. But then a aquatic warbler was found in the Lauwersmeer, so I went in that direction instead.
In the reeds, there were many reed-dwelling birds, and I stopped every 50 meters to check everything I saw. After a solid hour of searching with no result, I returned to the car and decided to try one more time by the fence. In the distance, 2 sedge warblers sat in the reeds. On my camera screen, I couldn't tell if one of them might be an aquatic warbler, so I downloaded the footage to my phone to zoom in. This way, I could confirm that they were just 2 sedge warblers. After a while, someone else arrived, also drawn by the report. He was clearly less experienced, so I explained to him what features to look out for, such as the yellow streaks on the back, the distinct central crown stripe, and the pale laurel stripe. At one point, I saw a very yellow warbler flying to the right, so I moved in that direction as well. However, I made the classic mistake of leaving the camera behind and walking a little further. I heard a call that was noticeably louder than that of the many sedge warblers, and it took a moment before I finally got the bird in sight. It was the aquatic warbler. I quickly ran back to the camera and signaled to the other birder.
Hij zit hier hoor, hij zit hier in dit spul.
But unfortunately, the bird flew across the road.
Is dat een...
Next to the reeds stood a small tree where at one point 2 reed-dwelling birds were chasing each other. I started filming the most interesting one, and indeed, it turned out to be the aquatic warbler. Finally, I had the species on film. Sadly, the moment was rudely interrupted by a guy on a dirt bike.
I'm now at a park in Groningen, where a species has been seen that isn't new for the list of species I've filmed, but it is a typical summer species, and that is the black-crowned night heron.
I have filmed the black-crowned night heron before, but that was in winter in a conifer, so I really wanted to film the species in a more typical habitat. Unfortunately, the bird wasn't very cooperative either, and it took several visits. I did manage to film this obliging kingfisher. I also saw the peregrine falcon sitting on the nearby building where it nests. After several attempts, I finally got the bird in sight. First, it was hidden behind the leaves, but later, thanks to some careful searching by Daniel Boer, we managed to film the bird through a small gap. Sadly, this month I wasn't able to film an adult yellow-legged gull, but at Arkenheim I did spot this adult Caspian gull on the pump house, another plumage that was still missing from my collection. If you like this video, then please also watch this video in which I went to see a new species for my Dutch list.